Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Frankly, the way you talk about your business is just plain boring. Well, maybe not your business specifically, but the way most businesses in the world talk about themselves, and I know because I read a hell of a lot of About Us pages on websites, is actually the same message. People go, we've been around since 1992, serving our customers in a friendly environment. Our difference is we care about our customers, and we're a one-stop shop for whatever it is that you do. In fact, our values are respect, integrity, and trust. And why? Why does every business have to talk about themselves the same way? The first message they tell to their customers, we've been around since 1992. It's like my brother when he goes to the bar trying to pick up the ladies. Imagine if the first thing that he said when he met a prospective partner was, hey, I'm 35. Are you interested? We wouldn't do it to the ladies, so why do we do it to our customers? There's got to be a better way to talk about our business. That's why we have joining us in the studio today, Ashton Bishop, CEO of Step Change. Ashton, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. I've been around since 1975, and I'd like to be the presenter of choice for this episode, caring about you, providing a high value...
Thank God we're going to move away from that.
Stop it!
Here we go. How to create a value proposition that makes people buy and makes people want to listen to what you do. Ashton Bishop is the CEO of Step Change, sitting at the intersection of strategy and creativity, helping challenger businesses outsmart their competitors. And today, specifically, we're going to look at how a value proposition can help you outsmart your competitors.
Yeah.
I'm Adam, sometimes called Stones, Adam Long. He'll call me Stones. Welcome to the show. Let's jump into it. Ash, what is a value proposition?
So the first thing to get is that your brand doesn't live on the shelf, doesn't live on your office, doesn't live on the signage, it lives in your customer's mind. Okay. The value proposition we describe as the statement of everything that you do that adds value for your client. It's the articulation of, if you imagine your most loyal advocate sitting next to a prospect in a bar, your value proposition would be the summation of what they'd say. Let me tell you about this great business and all the things that you'd say about them. That's the value proposition. Great. The communication of value as a proposition to buy.
So it's a really important part of someone's marketing to get their value proposition right, but it's not an easy thing to do, Ashton. So luckily today, Ashton will be taking us through the steps you need to go through to get from what's great about your business and what business owners know is great about their business to something that customers will actually care about, engage with, and most importantly, tell others about as well. And Ashton, it all starts with this concept of purpose and ambition. What's that all about?
Well, purpose and ambition, a lot of companies have like mission and vision and values and all this stuff that they can't really distinguish between. Purpose is the key point. The purpose is your statement of intention. It's the reason you're in business and what you aspire to be. It should touch, move, and inspire you and your customers and your stakeholders and everybody who's associated with that business. It's the game worth playing. You should be able to put it above an archway on the front door. You could be the headline of your website and people would know what you're there for, the game you're playing.
So Simon Sinek talks about people not buying what you do, they buy why you do, and it really starts with this sense of purpose.
Yeah, so Simon Sinek's video, Start With Why, is probably the most watched business video of all time, besides this one. I think this one's probably just going to pass it soon, so
any day
share
now.
This with your friends and pass it on. Yeah, but the purpose is, if we can articulate our why or our purpose, then we've got that emotional hook for people to come on the journey with us.
And it's a great place to start. And Ashton, certainly most of the businesses I've come across already have sometimes a mission or a vision in place. And I've got to be honest, most of them are actually the same. I hear time and time again, our mission is to be number one in our category. Now, I understand that's not wrong, but there's a better way.
Well, it's just not differentiated enough, Adam. And the purpose is that we want to get the heart connected. We want to be the game worth playing, the reason to get up in the morning. And as I said, touch, move, and inspire. And most of the missions or visions, they come across as, we want to be number one in our category. There's no value in it. There's no spunk in it. There's no pizzazz in it. I mean, one of my favourite is Virgin. David slaying Goliaths wherever they sleep. It gives a clear purpose for Virgin. That means that anybody who pulls on the red gets lifted. They know what they're out to do. Anybody who's a sloth-like incumbent within a category, they get the wobbles if they know that Virgin are coming in because they know what they're going to stand for.
Correct.
And one of the magic things about purpose is decoupling what we call ambition, the commercial lens. So we need to be able to obviously have the unit economics of a business make sense. And people who want to do good, they need to think about the unit economics first, because if you want to scale something, the more money you make, the more good you can do. I mean, you look at the contribution Gates is making now with his fund. He's able to do that.
Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah, Bill and Melinda Gates can do that because of the money they've made now empowers them to do it. So we want to make sure that whatever game we're playing, there's an economic lens to it, but we don't need to put that front and centre. So I remember when Ford was going into chapter...
We've actually got it here, Ash.
Yep. When Ford were careering towards Chapter 11 bankruptcy, their purpose, as stated, was to maximise shareholder value, which is very different to when they set out. So when they set out, Henry Ford said to help Americans explore this great land.
That's why he did it. That's why the factories, that's why the Model T, that's the pricing. It wasn't actually about building great cars or increasing shareholder value. It's about this exploration. It's
which led to the democratization of the motor car. Yeah, ambition, a Ford in every driveway of America. Now you don't actually need to share your ambition, but you need to be clear about it. Another couple of examples there is the clean plumber. So David Hall took over Allen Hall Plumbing, Dad's business, which is just another plumbing that you might find in the yellow pages at the time.
Yeah, there's plumbers everywhere. So this was a 3 or 4 person outfit?
Yeah, it kind of was at the time. But David sat down and he went, what game do I really want to play? What's going to inspire me? And plumbers were late. They might fix the pipes good. We fix pipes good. But they didn't really turn up on time, show respect for their customers. They'd walk their dirty boots in and out of the house and leave the work site a mess. So he came up with this concept and he did the sacrilegious thing and renamed the family business from Allen Hall Plumbing to the Clean Plumber.
He took his dad's name off the business?
With a promise, we treat our customers' homes as if they're our own. Yeah. So they would turn up on time or they paid you. They would leave the work site cleaner than they found it, or they'd clean the whole house. And he transformed his 4 or 5 person plumbing business into a multi-million-dollar business and sold out in a number of years.
Wow, fantastic. So what's interesting about the purpose here, Ashton, is it actually provides guidance to the staff, certainly as a plumber, going from our job is to be #1 plumber in Sydney to let's treat our customers' homes as if they're our own, can actually encourage some very different behaviours. How did that play out in the business?
Well, purpose works in a number of ways. So we actually see that it unites staff in action, that it differentiates from competitors, and it adds value beyond price. So with the Clean Plumber, for example, we saw a whole bunch of plumbers turn up and they pull on like surgical boots over their Blunston boots. So they go into the house and like turn up like that. One of them decided to get a rapid response vehicle. So when a customer needed them, they were there. So they got a motorbike and they sort of drove past Alan Jones on the bridge one day and then they're on radio. So really playful, really fun, and a great business model there.
And certainly the value in a purpose as clear as this is it's very clear to know, is this behaviour actually living that purpose or not, compared to a commercial ambition just sitting on its own.
Yeah, well, it guides all behaviours actually, and we see that even for a brand like Coca-Cola, still the world's most valuable brand when we think of intangible brand value, their purpose to share happiness with the world. And we've seen a lot of Coke ads over the years, the ones that resonate, the ones that work, the ones that actually sell are those magical moments where you flip the top and summer pops out. That's what Coke at its heart and at its purpose is known for. The interesting relationship with their ambition, a Coke within arm's reach anywhere on the planet, they don't publicise that front and centre, but that starts to guide the strategy. It starts to guide the way that they play. And I think they failed in North Korea and Cuba, but effectively just about anywhere else on the planet.
Even Myanmar they've unlocked recently.
Right, there's a Coke within arm's reach just about anywhere on the planet.
So with purpose and ambition as a foundation, and one of the businesses that you've worked with started off as a pretty boutique surgical practice down in Adelaide called YHY and Associates.
Yeah.
Now that's not what we've got on screen, because you found that their purpose actually led to a new name and a new lease of life for them. Well, what's the story here?
So purpose allows you to elevate to the next level, and it was YHY and Associates where they were actually doing back surgery, spine surgery, but the game and the intention or the purpose of the organisation was much better. They were looking to change the way that care operate with their 3 C's treatment approach. Coordinated collaborative care took in the pain medication, the psychology, the movement, and the surgical and interventions. And why were they doing it? When we got down to it, their purpose was to offer people who suffered chronic back pain hope of a life beyond pain. And it's such a powerful purpose and such a uniting purpose that then it's like the name needed to change, everything needed to change to fit in and fit the purpose. So you create a purpose big enough and it draws everything towards it and really fills the space with it.
Great. So with their new name as the International Spine Centre, formerly YHY and Associates, what has that done for them? What has this purpose unlocked for them as a business?
So what it's done is, as I said, it's got a name change. It's got what we call the positioning. So if the value proposition's everything, the positioning is the essence of that. That's the hook. When we talked about invisible marketing and the psychology of persuasion in marketing, we look at that framing and the trigger of the recall. So the trigger statement out of that was hope of a life beyond pain. Was the one thing out of the value proposition that people wanted to remember, but it's also really set them up as thought leaders in their industry to go through and look at that collaborative, coordinated care to have this 3 C's treatment approach to change the face of the way medicine is conducted.
Great. So the purpose is the first step in really uncovering where the value is in a value proposition. The next element is essentially understanding who your customers are and what's going on in their world. So let's have a bit of a chat about how you actually recognize your customers. What are the mistakes that businesses make when they try to define who their audience or who their customer base is?
So there's a lot of mistakes businesses make. The first one is they generally go so broad and they go, we only need 2% of the world's population. Like there's no target audience in there. It's a family reunion, and that's too often what we see. We're targeting people 18 to 65. That's not a target audience.
I've sat in pictures where they've actually said anyone with a wallet is our customer.
Yeah, so they're not target audiences. They're family reunions. They're countries that we're targeting, and it gives no differentiation value. So the first thing to do is stop asking the question of how many people can we talk to. The question is how few people can we talk to frequently enough to be successful.
Okay. So we get into this term then of what's called segmentation, which is breaking down of all the people you could talk to a tight definition. And when we spoke about predatory marketing in a previous episode, Ash, we talked about inch wide, mile deep. Would you mind reminding us what that's all about?
Yes, so inch wide, mile deep says, can we define a market where we can be inch wide, narrow enough so we can be in the top 1, 2, or 3. So we want to lead in a narrow niche rather than be nowhere in a broad niche. And then there is enough people mile deep so that we never run out of customers within that niche.
Okay. So segmentation, why exactly do we segment?
Well, it comes back down to right people, right message, right time. And most businesses forget that and get caught up with segmentation, either not doing it or over-segmenting. Now, the thing that they don't realise or don't recognise is the importance of what we call value-based segmentation. Okay. You don't want to find out people's demographics necessarily. You want to identify the people that value and are willing to pay for what you've got.
So there needs to be that they're less important than working out a particular age group, a particular gender. It's more about what's happening in their sense of value.
Yeah, because it comes back to, at the end of the day, you need to work back from, will people value, pay for, and pay a premium for what we offer? And getting tight around that is the only real access that we have to a meaningful segmentation that lets you then find the right media, tailor the message to be relevant at the right time.
Okay. So it's interesting hearing about some brands, once they're looking at a value-based segmentation, they might find that instead of, hey, we're targeting everybody in Sydney.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.